Now, speaking of the event, can you just take us through a recap of what has been happening for the first 2 days of the Caadp Summit?
The first 2 days were built up to this, to today. The first day was a meeting of the ministers of agriculture of the AU member states, entire of Africa. We discussed the progress of implementation of the previous policy blueprints, the Malabo Declaration, which has been running for 10 years. Perhaps for people to understand, what are these declarations about? AU coordinates member states to have a common consensus on how agriculture should be developed for the continent. Because we have common characteristics in our economies. We are agro. Most of Africa is agro-based. So, coming together and working together must include having common plans, shared technologies, shared knowledge, learning from each other about how to develop agriculture. So the leaders of our countries started having a common policy framework for Africa in the year 2003. So it was first agreed upon in the first one was the second one was Malabo, and every 10 years they review it. The way we review NDP 1, 2, 3 in Uganda, it is the same way the continent reviews its agricultural policy, which is called Caadp, Comprehensive Africa Agriculture Development Program. So we looked at how the previous framework worked, the achievements made, the shortfalls, and it's what we are trying to address in this new policy framework, which we are proud as Uganda to lead. So the next declaration, the next program for agricultural development for the continent for the next 10 years will be called the Kampala Declaration. So we are looking at how, for example, how would we achieve zero hunger? We have food surplus in one part of the continent and scarcity in the other. And that leads to having a 20% of the Africa's population starving. About 200 million people are starving. So we are setting a target and a commitment from our heads of state that by 2035, nobody, no African, should be dying because of food scarcity. That's one. Two, how do we completely commercialize agriculture, which is even our aspiration as Uganda. When you hear PDM, it is intended to ensure no smallholder farmer only works for the stomach. Same aspiration. So each country comes with its own strategies. We share them, we synthesize them, and we put all this into a policy blueprint. And it is today that the heads of state will confirm and adopt this Kampala Declaration. So when we finished our first input as Ministers of Agriculture, yesterday it was a hybrid meeting between the Ministers of Agriculture and the Ministers of Foreign Affairs. Why Foreign Affairs? Because they craft and drive member countries' foreign policies. So we want foreign policies that are pro-agricultural development. We want foreign policies that favor trade, okay, and hinder trade between countries. If East Africa can fully trade with West Africa, I can assure you the issue of markets will be solved. So that's the whole point. So today, the documents we are presenting to the heads of state for discussion and consideration is work from the two sessions of the ministers, and it has been work for over 1 year under the specialized technical committee of agriculture, rural development and water and environment, which I chair. And we've been really discussing this for the last 1 year. It's been tough work, and I'm really proud and happy that finally the baby will be born.
Honorable, finally, when you look at this particular summit, of what importance has it had or significance to Uganda's agricultural sector and then Africa in general, and looking forward to the 10 years of what will be looked at as the action plan and strategy? What significance does this lay?
This helps us to validate our policies. First of all, we check ourselves. We peer review ourselves. We look at what other people are saying. We look at their policies. We say, are we there? For example, when this term of government started, The major emphasis of government, the major emphasis of the president was parish development model. Target about 40% of Ugandans who are only farming for food and not farming for commercial purposes. So when you see other countries also having these as core priorities in their plans, then we know we are right. So validating programs and comparing and learning is very, very important. Then of course, beyond agriculture, such a conference is a great opportunity. It's an event. It's bringing money into the country. We are having almost here close to 1,500 delegates plus. So, and besides the mice benefit, the flag for the continent, for the agricultural policy, will be a Kampala flag. This is great, and of course, even to accept that Uganda hosts this event, that Uganda takes leadership of the technical committee, is confirmation that our policy instruments and our efforts in developing agriculture are a model to emulate by others.
Thank you very much. We wish you good luck today as well. And to you, our dear viewer, right now we